looking at that veto coming into this with the agent select as well, this very much looks like it's going to be a more serious affair.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the later this goes, obviously it could lean one way or the other, but two strong maps to start out here. Should be interesting to watch it. Stars are actually spotted pretty early on by Scream, coming out from B main, just ahead of that Viper wall. Actually, Liquid going to find themselves access pretty quickly towards B site. To Ascend cautious. Not to give away another kill just yet ahead of the spike being planted, but Yampy now on with that.
Yeah, Scream can be the first checked, and actually Zeke just straight up bodies him. Already we're going to see actually Ascend doing quite well, and we noted their retakes being very solid in the past. Nice little flash did set up a moment there for them, but for now it is going to be just down to Soulcast, outnumbered, overwhelmed. The first round will sit with Ascend, and quite honestly, this is sticking quite true to what we saw in some of the prior games coming into Ascend. Yes, we know the front line's fantastic, of course. There's no need to really kind of over-address that. But also these retakes, how poised they've been, how nicely they've been kind of playing that balance of not overcommitting individually. Some really nice looks from them. Yeah,
again, it goes without saying, I think CNED is the player to watch here, considering that performance the other day. Yep. But the thing I look for here is how much space he's given on their defensive half. And I know Lothar was trying to make that kind of comparison between the two, but it's always more exciting to watch what CNED is able to achieve on defense, just because I think attack is a given.
I'm with you. Yeah, I see what you mean. And speaking of the man, phantomed up, ready to go, going to get a little ahead of it, going to get himself building towards the ult as well, even a greater boon to be having on your side. And as stands, nothing too wild to worry about here. Not a huge investment from Liquid. They haven't been doing those weird force buys that we saw a couple of teams doing, the kind of, crazed ones, but again, that first round wasn't really becoming of it. Jump peak enough to kind of give Zeke a second to pop down the boom bot, but pay to wait, as Keyless will be waiting just on the other side here. Plenty of players just around that corner. And a bit of a lazy clear from Scream, but a lazier shot from Keyless. He does get the second bite of the cherry. Zeke going to catch the cross. Spike now noted. This should be clean enough.
I think, yeah, that's the important kill. Yeah, CNED actually gets caught up inside that smoke. Zeke will find Yampy in hell. Soulcast, once again, the last man standing. For Liquid, Spike unretrievable. Ascend closing the distance now, and won't even find the consolation. So Ascend will pull through 4 weapons carried across there. So Liquid obviously in a position now to buy back into this. Whether or not Ascend will try and make use of these Spectres at all in this round. And yeah, I guess ultimate progress, really. You look towards Zeke and CNED.
Well, CNED's doing quite nicely for himself, isn't he? 6 out of 7 already.
Yeah, and a couple of kills and that orb retrieval at the start of that round on the back of the paranoia we saw. Not really much to write home about for Liquid in the first few rounds. Again, a lack of kills, so to say.
And it's so interesting to me that at this point in Valorant's kind of story, we haven't seen these two face off against each other so often.
It's actually crazy.
Both towards the top end of the EMEA scene, both incredibly talented and both doing deep runs in several events. And they've somehow avoided each other. So such a tantalizing prospect in this best of 5. Very, ooh, hold on, Yampy. Now, how much does he get out of this? Okay, nice little start towards CNED. Gonna probably dip a little bit deeper there. That's gonna be a call of, I don't know what you call from the back of that.
I think only one noted though, but Yampy is aware of the possibility somebody else has stacked through. Zeke has actually pushed all the way into spawn here. But Liquid, yes, they will swing. They will find Keyless as well. But again, at this point, you've got to be thinking, no way there's a third, right? Zeke will be out on an island. Scream will find Stars or elsewhere. And again, really, if Liquid can keep this clean, keep 5 alive, good opportunity here to at least level the scoreline here. Yampy still posted up deep, and that, I mean, even really considering the first 2 that he found, the fact that he hangs to still find Zeke on that flank is amazing.
Absolutely. And Bone Cold now in a 1v5. Not too easy, and again, when we talk about this round, we don't really necessarily talk about the team like Ascend in this position to be converting it more. Can they get the damage? Can they maybe do something to maybe cost the economy down the line? But for now, it looks as though Liquid is really robust at this, and the timing, they're a little unfortunate for Bone Cold. The barrel not quite showing, and Link sorted to find it. 5 stay alive for Liquid. All the goodies now going to be coming through. And again, ult progress might be slightly hindered for Ascend. We do see that CNED has at least completed that cycle. As we said, he was really building early on that.
And actually, that round actually flips way back in Liquid's favor as well in terms of the ultimates. When you look at that again with Yampy in close now to the Cosmic Divide. Elsewhere, I mean, Soulcast the furthest away really from that showstopper, but Yeah, Bone Cold actually going to have to carry a Spectre across, opting for utility and the full armor. Well, no, actually, we see CNED run with the rifle, even invest the Blade Storm here, maybe reactively. We'll set up a fault line towards Mayo. Slow any advance towards mid, at least garner some of that control in the early round. Yampy again going to be posted up on lurk duty almost. As the spike semi-committed, at least towards B site. Potentially towards this B split. CNED now. Again, they've got no crossfire here because the wall's actually invested up deep in heaven here. So CNED going to dip his toes and we'll find Soulcast.
Apparently doesn't need the crossfire. Fine on his own to at least find Soulcast. Will have to kind of fall away. Doesn't want to get traded just yet. That's great to kind of stop any quick response from Liquid, who are going to further explore towards heaven now. A couple of players building up this way, and then we noted that CNED has just kind of sat back a little bit, just maybe considering if there's more attention coming towards that A side, which Yampy could maybe give an indicator of, but he's actually going to fade away from this. So now we turn our attention back towards that B site. They're going to have to burst at some point, maybe once that wall decays.
Yep. Just starting now, you can see the cracks showing. We'll give them good time, but Nevera, no real progress towards site, and again, that spy cam just above the entrance going to give the information if Nevera does decide to slip through, but now has to wait for the toxin. The camera's actually dealt with, so Liquid a good opportunity here. Oh, the spam comes through. Starzo actually takes no damage from that.
He's a lucky boy, but CT is going to be handled, but Starzo is on his own for a couple of seconds, and he will be isolated eventually. He got away with one, but keep your eyes on the time. 10 seconds left here to get that spike towards the site. Zeke going to fly on in, find Scream, and has completely destroyed how this round was meant to be going. But Link gets it back on track. That could have spiraled, but it doesn't. Liquid going to keep moving in the right direction for themselves. And we're right back to this 2-2 scoreline, looking really even between these two. And again, it still blows my mind. We just don't have history between these two head-to-head. It's such a weird prospect to me that, again, we've seen a lot of Liquids kind of rise in the most recent times, right? You've got to look at Nevera's addition to this. And I do want to highlight the op has come out straight into his hands here.
Yeah, and that's an interesting decision. We'll see how that pays off, especially on their attacking half, with Nevera kind of being the slowest moving component for Liquid so far. The slow moving. Soulcast is straight up ramp here. Going to note CNED's presence on the back of the Blade Storm. No damage straight off just yet. It looks like Ascend want to pressure the backline.
It's got to be CNED. Oh, everyone else is on Sheriff side, Pop. Yeah. That was it. That was their one big play into this round. I don't know how the rest get much. They are at least in the right place, you could argue. The stack's correct. But again, there's still 5 alive for Liquid.
And that wall as well invested towards heaven, going to make it very difficult. A big tool for Liquid to make use of here in this post plant. I think Nevera will be the one to plant the spike. That'll give him the Viper's Pit. Yampy finds a freebie onto Keyless. All but a formality now. Bone Cold and Zeke left to once again consider trying to do some damage here. Looking like another flawless round here from Liquid, and good opportunity for them to build up a buffer, especially in a round like this where they invest the operator knowing full well that Ascend aren't going to have a strong purchase. Yeah. Gold finds one, but again, not really worth an awful lot here.
Now, if you could find any more, then that could have, maybe pulled our attention. Maybe even the op, being taken out, but not to be. Only one lost, and the ults are now looking lush for Liquid. 3 of them coming online. The op's still in play, and I kind of want to lean a little on that kind of conversation topic, because we've now seen 3 oppers run for Liquid, one being Yampy, of course, the other being Scream, which I'm still not massively sold on yet, but he keeps getting away with it, so I can't really stop him. But I prefer Nevera on it, but it looks like a switch up.
Yeah, they actually just swapped over to Yampy, and we've seen him kind of being on lurk duty, right? Being kind of out.
Is it because CNED's on one?
Well, potentially, yes. I mean, the problem being, I don't think CNED's going to find the duel that he's looking for. It's going to be a little unorthodox with this composition from Liquid. Yeah, actually, the first time we've seen Liquid stacked up, nobody actually present towards A main. CNED this time will adjust. He's actually tucked up in the corner of B heaven here. Liquid very slow, very cautious. What he's doing, again, that's on the back of really just trying to figure out exactly where CNED's going to be positioned.
And I want to see how they try and find this, right? They seem super aware of, obviously he's been playing by ropes a fair bit. That's where they've been kind of noting him early on.
I think that's why we see Yampy here posted.
Absolutely. And again, how long do you sit this out? He will have to eventually look towards the site itself. Not really going to lurk with the op, even if it is Yampy, but away we go. We're going to find that op sooner rather than later. At this point, there it is. Rings true for CNED finding Soulcast, but he was the only man who really committed to the site. The rest were sitting pretty far back. Now they start to filter through, but CNED gets a way more favorable situation to play into. He's going to surely get a spam down at the very least. Good connection, but no frag. Starkzo, you know he's going to walk it. You absolutely know he's going to walk it, but Nevera jumping with a Phantom apparently just fine. And look at this bloodbath. It's just a mad fight on towards the site. That looked very disjointed from Liquid there.
It really did, and the one thing I want to note is actually the timing of the Viper. Well, the Rolling Thunder comes through. Again, they try and close the distance, get one member to backside, but Cena's able to drop into Hell and actually find that kill when the Vipers Wall should have denied that exact angle. So, yeah, disjointed, maybe, I don't know, not everything considered there. Again, you'd be considering Cena dropping from Heaven into Hell ahead of that execution, or at least just behind the Rolling Thunder. Yes, it's a little weird, but...
weird. I guess they picked it up, so...
Yeah. Again, this is just to be unorthodox. Give them something else to worry about as well. Now they can split their operator pressure, at least across 2 points in the map, because you can see CNED over towards A Heaven this time around. But with the way Liquid have played this early round, again, it's been very, very slow. I mean, really, that leans into, yeah, operator's going to find value. The other thing is you can see the way they're positioned. Again, Bone Cold to kind of counter CNED's operator with a little bit of a buddy system. And elsewhere, Keeler's actually positioned a little split, I guess, from Zeke on backside on B. But look, there's now 60 seconds left. Liquid, they got to walk elsewhere. And now a slow hit almost suits this setup from Ascend.
See what they go for on this now. And there are 2 players towards B. Minimap has betrayed us, don't worry too much. But again, you're kind of walking into the unknown, and that lean coming over from Starkzo is already here, so they are in the right place and very much at the right time. This should be the indicator.
30 seconds left.
Doesn't quite get the confirmation he had wanted. There it is. That's enough. 25 seconds. They have to commit now. Zeke does let the first shot fly. Now he's going to be pinned to the back of this, but they still haven't made their way through. They don't... they do know it's Zeke, surely, at this point, considering it is going to be the Raze there. And already flying in,
what?
Zeke plunks Soulcast out of the air and say goodbye to this round, Liquid. It's falling through your fingertips again. What is this late round hit from them? I don't like this look, and I love that from Ascend.
And again, you just look at the way in which they take contact there. It's 2 people walk peeking B main. After, like you said, Zeke is noted on the back of the boombot. I don't think at that point they're confident that it's an operator there, but the first shot's disgusting onto Soulcast. The second one, just a little lucky dip, I guess, into the smokes. But again, at this point, those kills are coming early enough where the bodies can be in place. I think Starzo's the 3rd person there from Ascend to make that rotation, and he's in position so early.
This early fact-finding mission to try and maybe get a glimpse on CNED and try and navigate around or punish however they want to approach it. Didn't really net them much yet.
I mean, credit to Ascend for not showing their hand early in some of these rounds in terms of where the operator's positioned. And that's what's causing so many problems for Liquid, honestly.
Oh, you jammy boy. They have no idea. Boombot just rolls on past, but Liquid actually trade this effectively. Finding CNED on top of Starkzo is fantastic. That's the biggest opportunity they've been given in a couple of these buy rounds now. And look, you can see it. Bone Cold is on a bit of an island. Support's en route and has just about made it to Heaven, as you can see. But Bone Cold still needs to do some work, and they're split between the ideas. Hearing Zeke potentially cause their attention to turn towards CT. Zeke now, oh, it's not pretty. It ain't pretty at all. And Bone Cold had full faith in him. Oh, Zeke, I thought you had my back, buddy. Oh, he's not got any of this.
Give me a cop. Where is everyone?
Popular North Left actually finds Nevera ahead of that swing. Both players now on site noted.
Spike planted.
Zeke got to land one of these shots again. Yampy actually with a jump peek will find the headshot. Second one eludes him though, but a 30 HP Keeler's now on a 1v1. Has to try and clutch this up. Try and let the clock run down a little bit. Maybe see if Link makes a move, but he would have caught that cross as well.
Would have. A second longer. Oh, bloody hell, Link. Lucky boy. In the end, will recover the off as well. And it feels like there's such a tone to this game that's quite unique. I haven't seen Liquid on the attack looking like this in a little while. It just feels a bit weird here. I feel like they're both playing a little outside of the norm.
Yeah, and again, you could argue coming down to this, what do they have in terms of figuring out where CNED is? They have a boom bot there. Other than that, it's peaks. They have to make the use of finding space, and ultimately, if CNED doesn't bite on any of those, then they're still left guessing with 60 seconds left in some of these rounds, which is problematic because I think Ascend one thing. Hold that thought for a moment. Soulcat's actually going to get caught in this trap wire with the showstopper. There's lots to deal with, and Keyless actually will swing out and find that kill.
Oh my word, Zeke, again getting away with it.
A.
But this is so messy. And I kind of expect a little bit more of a refined round from these boys, but Yampy with the spike walking. Don't go too much further, Yampy. Okay. Gonna dip his way back around. Vera gonna try and at least keep control of some part of this. Rez comes in just as an insurance policy now in a 4v2. This shouldn't be a loss, but we've seen stranger things, but we're gonna need one of these two players to do something quite spectacular. As Yampy playing from that smoke, dips around towards the backside of it. Here's the shots rattling through from Rap. Gonna punish. Good work from Navera, but it's now down to just one standing, and it's more than enough for Stark. So, but I like the pacing. I like the kind of, I guess even just allowing the trades to come in. Yes, it does come down to the last player, but they kept it in check.
Yeah, and I think there Yampy's considering the possibility of the res coming up with the Cosmic Divide still being available. It's a little bit cheeky, but I think Ascend disciplined enough to just say, way out the plan. We're going to force both players essentially onto site or into, two 1v1 scenarios. So credit to Ascend there in that retake, but again, it's difficult. That's the first time Liquid have really shown a pace change.
True.
And like you said, it felt messy. It was a bloodbath coming out of A main there, and everybody in position to kind of swing ahead of that Cosmic Divide as well.
I feel as though these teams are still getting a bit of a feel for each other. Again, they don't have a lot of officials on record against each other. They don't have the reps in this head-to-head. CNED, he's fine, he gets away. No problem in that. And Liquid are on a bit of a lighter purchase. You can hear the sheriffs kind of making noise. Yampy's got himself a Marshall. So again, I think there's a rifle in this. Liquid, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there is. Navera, few observers. There's already a bit of pressure coming towards Heaven. Now that rifle will be known. CNED's not really backing away though.
Still Soulcast whipping the first couple, and Ascend will punish on the back of it there. That was the real opportunity for Liquid to maybe find entry towards B Heaven. Scream now, the last man standing, Sheriff in hand. He's got 5 to find. Not even going to be the first. A flawless round victory from Ascend. Liquid now, effectively one full purchase coming back in. It's going to get awkward towards the end of this half unless they post this 5th round now.
You're right. Not checking on the scoreboard. I feel like Zeke and CNED are just about everywhere that it looks like Liquid wants to be. We saw them in Heaven then, just being a nuisance, ready stacked up to go. On the other side, Liquid, let's see what you got now. Again, decent enough purchase, far from perfect.
Well, the next one's the concern. If they drop this now, it's almost 8-4 as a given unless they pull something out of the bag.
Early presence noted towards that A side. Obviously, they're just toying with the wall, but it is going to be that mid presence. Zeke sends it, doesn't get it, but CNED will. Scream's now gone. That's the head of the snake now just cut off as Liquid. What do you do with this point? Oh, CNED tries to make the most of it while he can, but just too much pressure as Soulcast will at least remove him now. A 1-for-1 trade out.
Rolling Thunder push through just to clear space though. Bone Cold still on site to deal with here. Navera hasn't shown his hand just yet. Bone Cold will be undetected as of yet.
Lovely work from Bone Cold, considering the amount of pressure he could have had coming his way. Really keeping his cool in these scenarios. Now has support through Heaven in the form of Starkso, but he gets deleted as Link can now take that space, but the next layer is going to be Zeke slowly building his way through. Doesn't waste any time on that. Killer's right there. Spike now lost to Navera. It's not going to be pretty. This could be the first map loss. They were touting the fact that they've just not lost since he's joined. Flat out. Honestly, Ascend looked pretty solid. I mean, a 7-5, it's not going to be anything to be worried about. I don't think it's still a relatively decent half from Liquid. I'd be a bit more worried if out of the 4 rounds, 2 of them were pistols or anything along those lines. But this isn't the worst, but you're right to be worried about that last round purchase.
Exactly, because look at it. It's yes, 2 rifles. Scream obviously on the Reina is not going to opt for any armor at all. Link, I'm not entirely sure the utility investment in the previous, other than the ultimate, but whether or not he's got full flashes in the facility at his disposal here, he's going to be the second rifle for Liquid, but no showstopper, so Soulcast going to have to make use of a judge here. Or at least attempt to. Cena now creeping back towards Vents, where he's been a nuisance in a couple of these rounds. Again, the Boombot getting the better of him previously. But really here, unless it's one of the rifles, it's going to be so difficult for Liquid to trade this out with the distance they're playing this round. Seeing him huddled towards bottom mid and towards B. Again, just nothing achieved here from Liquid early on. Again, the counter utility here will stop any advancement from Liquid as well. See, it actually does have the Blade Storm available. Didn't even spot that at the start of this round, but Liquid again. 30 seconds left as this slow creep towards B site. It's going to be spotted out by Bonecold's TP there, so full information ahead of this hit. The last one, of course he does.
Oh, go on. Let's see how much more he can do. Liquid just in the blender right now. Yeah, Ascend of keeping a firm grip on this round, and it's all going their way. 8-4.
Beautiful.
I will say, though, Liquid are no slouches on the side flip either, but neither are Ascend.
Well, this is where I'm now concerned, is I think with what we've seen from Ascend recently on attack, on split.
Yeah.
It's fast, it's loose, it's difficult to get a grip of, and like I said, Liquid just don't have those fact-finding tools that are necessary. They've got to come out swinging here, and to say that they have to be proactive in the majority of their buy rounds, that's a lot to ask.
Okay.
Which again, you think about the way Liquid traditionally play,
Yep.
it is, in terms of set pieces, it generally is a lot slower on the defense. So unless, you know, they're willing to break the mold here, and
sure.
I guess maybe we'll see a little bit of that double up, potentially, but it's such a burden on the economy to keep that running, especially if you're not winning out flawlessly. Again, you come to the retake scenario, it's so difficult to get done with two operators, and how many times, you know, when we saw them kind of debut that playstyle, was it the reason they were losing out on retakes was because they had to save. They just didn't have an opportunity.
Well, this 3-2 split's going to really find some good footing here. You're going to have the brothers Grimm waiting on the side. Let's see what they've got for us. Bit of a fight towards CT. That's going to be Soulcast and Zeke just kind of passing each other like ships in the night.
Push.
But here we go straight in. Now, Spike is still being held up. Navera is going to lose a little bit of that vision, try and find an angle, but actually Scream loses the fight. And I thought there'd be more resistance to this, but it was quite swift, and Ascend look really robust on these site takes already. And now it's down to Liquid to try and play this back in. Soulcast could be the point man, joined by Link. Bonecold's gone, but there's plenty on the site, still trying to do some work as they push right on back through.
Soulcast just a little ahead of that. Link will actually find another one there, but down to 10 HP. He's got to flash himself out of that scenario. Starzo goes hunting, and he finds both. He actually readjusts. He'll find his fourth on the round. Ascend, a comfortable pistol round. Again, they knew what they wanted. They took it. And like you said, with minimal resistance on the side of Liquid, it was, I guess, the tendency not to want to give a kill ahead of that execution, wait for that rotation to come through, but it was absent in that regard.
9-4 now. And this is where it gets scary, because you're going to be at double digits, you feel here, unless something goes completely wrong, right? Liquid of Sheriffs and not much else to write home about, whereas you've got the Spectres, the full armor, all the goodies on the other side. So you've got to feel as though Ascend should be able to convert this. Let's see what Liquid have up the sleeve. Any sort of mischief? Nothing managed. Is CNED going to find Soulcast? Oh, just a body check from CNED up towards ropes, so Bonecold does win that. And again, this is just looking kind of par for the course as it stands.
I think Link's going to be baited in here. Yep. Yes. So well done from Ascend again. They spam some shots into the smoke, bait the steps away. Link goes hunting, and he's punished for it.
Yampi. 1, 2, that's pretty good. The third, I'd have been maybe a little bit more on board, but now we can see the spike plant wall goes up, and Navera.
The retake with a shorty.
Nah, you know how I do sometimes say
I've
those
actually
stories?
never heard of this one.
No, this one
no.
No, it's not happened. What do you make of his webcam background that he's gone for here? What do you make of that?
I don't really have a lot of feelings about it. I know
very
Yinsu
indifferent.
was morally offended.
Yeah. I like Yampies. He's got like a theme.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you can tell that.
I actually think Link has screen today as well.
Yes,
Green
just
screen.
staring at him.
A little off-putting, actually.
It is. Imagine if you start underperforming. You just
Yeah, I
get
guess that's how it is in
sprays.
the training facility, right?
Why don't you go frag? And Navera. Wow.
You're not holding on to that anyway, mate.
No. All right. Double digits found. We said this was going to be kind of how this was looking if that first pistol round came in. Double digits are now there. This is where things get kind of rough for Liquid.
And then this is it. The buy round, 50 credits left overall. This
it's not
this
enough.
is the one they need to stop Ascend here. Again, this will be Ascend hit in 11, and at that point, it's all but a formality to close out. And actually, nothing online yet for Liquid. Link 3 away, Yampy 3 away elsewhere. It's only 2 ult orbs in terms of progress. I think Ascend in a position to just play this slow. They're going to play pretty deep already, at least in the early round. Zeke sent the boom bot through. But now 2 weapons noted, actually. Both Soulcast and Yampy shot at that boom bot.
Instantly.
Which is why we see and you're absolutely right. It's why we see this rotation, because I think they're anticipating potentially a third. Keylev's obviously in a position with that spy cam to greet any sort of progress here, but Scream, I mean, if he can find one and dip away from this, would be pretty huge in terms of stopping this push. He will do just that. I think he spots the second. Link there to find it. Keyless trades out though, so Link will be called upon here.
Nice.
Rivera actually from Robes. Now that's exactly what you want to see from Liquid, because Ascend were given the opportunity there to find potentially a bit of space towards A, but I guess couldn't get there quick enough.
And now, I want to see this kept clean, though. Again, I think the last
It's
two...
gotta be, yeah.
Is there a rifle dropped up towards ramp? Maybe they're going to go on a recovery mission. That's rough.
not good.
That's really rough, and that's a rifle now. That's a Vandal found. This is where the problems could begin. Noted on the site, Link now going to be found. 30 seconds still to play with, and a 2v3 is... It's not impossible, and especially if you whiff like that, Zeke has just absolutely embarrassed Link. They can go in, sure. Yampy going to try and be quick on this one, clear the corner. They know exactly where these two are. They have been herded in, and they need this done. Yampy is the one to do it. That got a little sketchy.
Yep, it's too surviving now, and that's the problem. You have to have the bankroll coming through rounds like this. You've still got a 5-round deficit to deal with. And again, 50 credits overall makes me feel like this purchase isn't going to be flush from Liquid. Whereas Ascend, they come back into this, that was their bonus. They've absolutely nailed the second objective there. Yes, it's a loss, but in terms of the long game, that suits them way better.
10 to 5, as we take a second or two. If you are just tuning in, we do have the lovely Salty J and Haribo doing the observing for us today. We've got a
No kills missed this week, which is
none.
crazy
0.
to consider.
Man, that's wild. Damn. I wonder if they keep that up. Huh. Let's find out as we go straight into this one again. And that double stack that garnered a lot of attention, that quick rotation actually still somewhat in place. And the double dip coming out from Soulcast. Great swing towards Bone Cold, but they are both going to be limited on vision, so they have to kind of, actually I was going to say fall away, they don't. They've stuck around here.
And that's what Liquid ultimately need to do. It's difficult to maintain that pressure throughout these rounds, but need to really negate it.
All
Yeah,
right,
actually
all
with the
right.
Strike down B.
Beautifully
Must be
done
nice. Beautifully done.
here. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally calculated.
Fully calculated. Me shoot smoke, me win. Okay. Oop.
Okay. That one not so beautiful, actually.
No, it wasn't pretty, that one, was it? Mm.
And potential for that to be
Oh,
the
what
round
is going on?
swinging back. A little complacency shown there from Liquid.
Oh, just a little.
A touch.
Oh,
A
complacent.
sprinkle.
Dash. What's happening?
Please don't find another kill.
I mean, this off angle should be nice enough.
One enemy remaining.
I get nervous. Killers. For the 1v1 you want to win. Not going to get it. Navera is there. Safe enough pair of hands.
But again, it's only 2 surviving here. And for Liquid, we're looking for cleaner rounds. Especially if they're going to get a little curious there. Whether or not that's going to be the MO for another couple of rounds. You're not going to be struggling, but again, it's not what you want to see. Again, Soulcast, I got to say, we've got to get that showstopper online. We've got to have that to just be a freebie essentially in some of these rounds. That's really what Liquid need. He's had a slow map so far, and usually I'm pretty excited to see Soulcast get back on that raise pick after making a name for himself on Sky.
Yeah, that's true. And There we go. CNED's on the hunt. By Navera, nice work last round though, Bud, but now the res as well, so we're into a 5v4.
And Showstopper available for Zeke, so actually I'm totally okay with that res coming through in a lesser purchase.
I know exactly where
Neural Theft will be invested as well, so an opportunity here for Ascend to find strength in numbers either site they go to.
Zeke, where are we going to pop this? He actually didn't
Clear
clear
help.
deep.
Okay.
Yeah, he kind of let that slip. And Yappy lets nothing slip. 3 kills back to back. And Soulcast and
Clean up.
Scream really solid. Finally, 3 of them survive. Finally, they have the players in the right place for it. But Yampy, I've got to say, bailed him out a bit there.
Oh,
Imagine if that was cleared a little bit deeper, that could have been a whole different kind of round.
For sure. Actually, Ascend are going to call a timeout here because I think actually now Liquid are starting to get a grip a little bit.
Yes. And it is maybe time to address a little bit of that because it was getting kind of messy, this kind of like dicey sort of game that's very hard to kind of talk through. And I love this little view we get of them on the boot camp. And we did get promised all the maps, all the OTs. Maybe we're going to get a bit of that.
I mean, they got the work cut out for them. That's
Yeah.
I think as well the important thing to note here is if Yampy's able to continue with this performance, again maybe they can lean a little further away from Yampy. Maybe, you know, continue to be proactive in the early round because again having that anchor in place that is delivering, putting up numbers for your team. And now this is the point that the first kind of ultimate cycle here for Liquid is what can we see? Do they give a site up for retake here? Maybe fight for a little bit of space. Actually, on the other side of that, what's Ascend's response?
See a little bit of consistency for Liquid in these rounds. They were a bit close. We did see it coming down to like 2 players a couple of times, getting quite towards the pointer end of the stick. A couple of slips as well, not looking so refined. But again, as much as we say this, these are 2 high-end teams that can cause that disruption, that can find those moments and will exploit them. A 3-play stack towards the A site.
Well, this is exactly what I was talking about here. Again, the ultimate from Navera over towards B main gives Liquid this opportunity. Well, they want to capitalize on the control. They're going to, I guess, by default gain on the back of that Viper's Pit.
Yeah. Oh, it's weird.
Zeke actually considering having a little nosy inside there, but not advisable. He is solo. Again, actually, you talk about the, well, I was talking about the composition on the side of Liquid on their attack. The only fact finder that Ascend really have is that Boombot.
Yeah,
So nothing really to clear out of Viper's Pit.
Yeah, I guess that's where it gets a little bit brutal to try and navigate through, but we are going to see, it still looks like this kind of pinch towards A, at least until I see that spike go anywhere else. And with the control they've got building towards ropes, it does look kind of like that's the case. But Liquid, very patient. Very, very refined, not over peaking, not over kind of aggressing anywhere. Giving up a fair amount of space though, so they are going to be playing a little in the dark to this hit. If it does come back through towards B, for example, they're showing a lot of this, but keep your eyes on that spike. It is not here. Soulcast will pop that ult, but the hit now starts instantly leaning towards that A side. So a nice little kind of fake out, but Scream is still in position. Finds Stark, so spins around. It's going to be a link up towards the top side, even noting one down towards the vents. Killers does succeed towards the side. Might be able to get a spike plant out of this. I don't think anyone can stop him at this point.
Left.
Actually, with the Cosmic Divide, opting not to plant for Heaven when CNED and Zeke are actually up there, so he's dealt with pretty quickly. That's problematic now for Ascend.
How do they get off this?
Enemy remaining.
This
Yeah,
would need-
just- yeah,
it's-
no
it's
chance.
Wrap it up. Put a fork in it. That one's done. Liquid again, still finding composure here.
And again, effectively giving up mid there, that 3-player stack towards A Heaven, they can do just that, because the only threat being ropes. As long as they maintain that control of A main, I think they're perfectly in the know that the split's coming. Unfortunately, I think, yes, they tried to sell something on B Heaven, but it's just not enough, especially with Soulcast on the other side of that with the Showstopper. The follow-up's not there. They know instantly that the hit's coming through onto A. So Liquid, 4 rounds, no response just yet from Ascend. I'll be honest, that's the closest Ascend have got. Slight adjustment there if the plant was for Heaven. Again, beyond that Cosmic Divide, it would almost make a little more sense, but
Yeah.
benefit of hindsight.
All right, Yampy, you've been actually pretty instrumental in Liquid, especially on this half. I feel like he was doing quite nicely on the other, but this has been really quite a solidifying moment for him. Let's see if the timing's favorable or not. It looks like he's going to be a little out of sorts, at least for the first peak. Has to give that up. And spins around towards the pillar, going to try and catch that next layer, and he's going to do really well at that. Succeeds, and then some against towards Zeke. You've got to bear in mind, the support system's already here. Link and Scream have his back, and we're down to 2 now for Ascend. What can they try and find out of this? Kind of just absolutely pinned in, surrounded. Liquid, that's clean. That is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Great restraint from Yampy there as well. Again, the timing is just half a second away from him finding that first anyway. Throws down the gravity well just to slow things down, like it's the second half of that hit on the side of Ascend, and everybody's in position to pick up a couple of kills on the way in.
5 in a row now. I can't believe we've had such a turn of events. Now, I guess we
8-4 half, and the first 2 go to Ascend. It's actually
normally
mad.
like, well, it feels like a formality when we get that sort of thing. But this is such a great look from Liquid, and I guess I think Lothar said it on the desk, and it's something we've definitely said in the past, that Liquid on the defending side can look quite good. But we didn't know how it fared against the likes of Ascend, who are actually very diligent on the attack as well. It could have been a bit of a weird matchup. But actually getting to see it come through this way is still looking nice for Liquid.
Well, you say that, I think Ascend have almost been slowed down a little bit by Liquid, and that's, dare I say, outside of their comfort zone. Especially recently, they've almost resorted back to kind of embracing that chaos in their attacking halves. Navera will hear the sound cue into ropes. Again, 3 players from Liquid committed here. At least in position to greet Ascend on A site. Keeler's still outside, but this could be worrying here if Ascend try to invest too much in selling a little bit of a fake, or at least trying to draw some rotation out of Liquid. Looks like actually Yampy's gone walkabouts, man. He's found Bone Cold.
He's found freedom. We've now seen
So
2
deep.
looks from Yampy, right? We've seen that very passive playing on the pillar, reserved. Now we've seen a little bit more aggression from him, kind of showing presence, taking over control, which is a problem for this site hit. They don't know quite where he is. He's given away that he's kind of fallen back towards site, but Soulcast is there. Zeke's job is to try and isolate him, and he does. And the other player that could have been a problem was going to be maybe Soulcast. Wasn't to be. Ascend with a really nice site take.
The spike's still down in Sushi. Again, Bone Cold was the one that was, I guess, supposed to be, you know, bring the spike eventually when we find space.
Time is weird now. Time is...
Thank God for that. I think Liquid are almost thinking, surely they got the spike. Actually, Zeke's laughing as if say, I don't think you got time to plant there, mate.
No, that would have been so weird with the time. Ooh, you take them when they're given. You're like, yep, absolutely fine. We love that. That was the intended plan.
Great round.
Great round, guys.
Good stuff. Finally, Ascend will respond.
Double ops coming out.
And again, with the way Ascend have been playing slower, I mean, I made the comparison on the first half. This almost now leans in Liquid's favor, unless Ascend are going to completely switch things up now. No, doesn't look like it, because Zeke's picked off very early on. No res available. CNED eager to find a trade, but a second stack inside us. And now the second operator's noted.
Yeah, it's all about layers, and as much as, yes, they found them, it's 2 alive, right? So it's like, what do we do with this now? I guess they weren't able to predict it. They didn't know that was going to be coming out here, but we've seen it now more and more often lent towards and considered by Liquid. And we know the downsides of double ops. We know that they're expensive and they can really cause you problems on your economy down the line, but as it stands, this is a fantastic switch up. A little dash of this, going to keep teams guessing now, is this what they're going to run in the future? What do we have to do against it? But there is still CNED alive. That spike is back in Sushi, but this time it's at least with the players. Don't worry too much.
And there's an extra 30 seconds on the board.
Guess that does help. Now he's going walkabouts, right? So how much information and what sort of weird spots can he get to with this? If he goes down towards that A site, you can see Link's already there.
Yeah, and actually Link in elbow posted up for this, but CNED actually comes out on top of that one.
Scream now knows it's all coming his way. And he's been on this site a couple of times. The timing's great for him. Can he get around the corner? Yes, he can. Good work from Scream just to disengage away from the fight for a second. Killer's now under a lot of scrutiny. So many players, and you're not going to get a second to breathe. Navera got there in time, and we've now got Liquid hitting 10 rounds. We said this game was going to be closer than all the others, I felt. And it looks like we are right on track for that.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see Liquid clawing back in. Well, I say clawing back in comfortably, breezing, almost strolling their way back into this map.
Well, they looked fractured on the first half. And now, as you said, breezing through. Really ascending.
Ascend in a real bind right now. Seems to have split them right down the middle.
I hate us too, don't worry. A quick piece coming out. Maybe this is the change up that Ascend want to try and bring, and so far it's not gone so well. Scream's going to find the first, and they're going to pour on through Scream. He's just absolutely dominating them right now. Does eventually get overwhelmed, but there's other players here, so it's a bit scrappy and a bit messy, but Killers is going to have to go into a 1v2. I don't care too much about the economic damage at this point, because we know that Liquid has a fair amount in the bank, and I do at least see, I'm pretty sure, both of the ops remaining.
Save that through. Viper's Pit available now for Liquid. An opportunity once again to at least close off one side of the map and make use of these operators potentially, but Nevera actually going to be the one holding on to a second op, so I guess continue with this buddy system. They're gonna stack somebody up next to one of these operators, and as soon as it's noted, Ascend, you got to assume they're going to try and close the distance. Maybe not here, because Ascend are actually stacked up once again to hit A. Paranoia sent through, so it's going to be noted pretty early on. Bone Cold somehow stuck this TP into spawn.
Oh, and there's no one here. This is feeling really weird. This feels like a really weird round. Again, they haven't made any of the crosses quite yet towards site, because look what's here. Nevera, Link in perfect combination. Finally, a peek comes back in from Bone Cold. But look at the numbers again. A 4v2. It's not pretty for Bone Cold, but Link's going to be happy with that. Leaving once again Kill as your last man alive. And it looks like Liquid is going to just snatch this away from Ascend and make it to 12 first. However, still has to close this one out. Killer's looking. And again, that Heaven control found, all of that, you know, looking like a good indicator coming in for maybe Ascend. Wasn't to be. There it is, Yampy to confirm it, and it looks like Ascend do not have an answer right now.
No, that previous round almost seemed desperate. There was kind of clutching at straws. The fact that Bone Cold's able to stick that TP, unfortunately, opts to go towards Heaven and not towards Screen. I didn't see a smoke down over Screens there, which is weird considering Liquid have been running double op for a couple of rounds now. So I'm not entirely sure about that one, whether or not the TP was supposed to draw some pressure away or at least make Nevera, you know, cautious of the flank. But I don't know, maybe Lothar's got some input on that one, but it seemed a little weird on the back of that TP.
Okay, and now we have the ult invested. This is really
Ascend got barely anything
conundrum.
to work with here.
Yeah, you're right. It's like, okay, we've got Judges and Zeke trying to go for it. That's really good. But does he follow up with anything? Yes, he does. Zeke on the drive-by. Gonna give them an ounce of hope, a dash of it, as Nevera is ripping it away. 3 huge kills, and the extremity is now cut off. Spike is in his domain, and we're down to, once again, CNED and Killers.
And Yampy actually already posted up with an operator watching the backside of the stairs. Link playing deep within spawn. The spike down in the Viper's Pit, which, I'll be honest, is all all that Liquid are going to be concerned about. Nobody else has to make any moves here, because Ascend have to retrieve that spike or find these kills.
Nevera's just going to be...
This just feels so awkward.
Yeah. He's happy enough in here, even if he dies.
They found him.
Actually, okay, so maybe there's a little bit of room. Ult comes in, confirms. Maybe there's a bit of life in them yet. Is it done, or is it OT? Link
30 seconds
having to
left.
bide a second, be a little patient, and he gets punished for being a little overzealous. And now the 1v2. We said this is going to go the distance, and it might just do that. Yampy presented a puzzle. How does he work this out? How does he get past CNED and Killers? What are his options? The double stack towards the back of the side.
Did he just spot him there?
I don't know, but it feels like he has. He looks like he's onto something here. Can he clear it well enough? No, CNED just about holds on, and it's 12-12. The game is going the distance, Hypoc, and look,
Switching
it's us,
sides.
right? We had tech issues at the
Overtime.
start. We had a bit, bit of Phil, weird quizzes going on, and now we get OT.
I get that. If you just take a snapshot of what's happening with 55 seconds left there, that feels unlosable for Liquid. I'm not sure exactly what happened with Nevera. I guess he's just so paranoid. And the problem being, I talked about Link and Yampy need to do nothing in that scenario, but they had no information there. Nevera there, he's got to be conscious that somebody's coming through B main. Got to be conscious that somebody's walked in. They're going to split in both sides of that Viper's Pit. But after this here, and the second being Bone Cold, dropping the spike. Damn. What a round. And again, great recovery by CNED and Keyless. The fact that they're able to, I guess, string that out as long as it lasted.
I can't believe we actually got OT from this. It was just like an absolute streak from Liquid, looking great. Nevera's ult, perfect, right? Like everything's in the right place. And somehow you get one of those magic rounds coming back in from Ascend. And hey, we kind of, I don't want to say expected, that's the wrong word, but it's always potentially going to happen, right? When you have this many talented players, there's always that chance that you can turn it around, but it's like, damn, okay. You got any plans for the evening?
No.
Good.
No. And this is the one, if anything, where you got to assume it's going. Actually, Nevera going to opt for an operator on the attack here. Seen it obviously on the defense. No real surprise there. But this is interesting. See how Liquid put this to use. At least initially, it looks like Ascend are going to explore mid. So they're going to try and get a shot off and make use of that dash. Smoke comes through. Yeah, actually swung ahead of it. He still finds the kill. That's so bold from CNED. The wall comes up just behind it, so nobody from Liquid can really close the distance, but brazen to say the least from CNED. No shocker.
Yeah. He just oozes confidence, doesn't he? And now Nevera.
Toxin screen down.
What have you got for us? Yeah, okay. I love this potential fight between the two, Nevera and CNED. You've got a real, I don't say a veteran, but someone who definitely caught the eye in prior games of many on the on the operator, and the guy is looking pretty on for it.
This is huge actually, because I think Nevera with that kill, yeah, you can see he's one away from the Viper's Pit now. So if Liquid can convert this to a post plant, that's massive.
Going up.
Obviously, Nevera going to need to get another kill or the plant. And yet, all this information revealed.
30 seconds
Actually, Keyless can't get a kill on the back of that spam. Or the trapwire. Link swings through. Starzo good for the trade, but it'll just be the one. Link will find his second. Actually, I'm going to give the plant over towards Link.
Spike planted.
Nevera just going to rely on this operator for the time being. Ascend now in a 2v3 retake.
Nevera, well, he really wanted to get that pick as soon as he could, but away we go. Ascend going to be starting to build back in. Nevera's HP is so low, but Yampy has done a great bit of work towards Bone Cold. What can Zeke do now? Being closed in on. That's not a bad start in this. Oh, that's really quite good. And he even predicted the right place. But how can he deal with it now? Tries to
That's
get
not for
top.
Yampy here.
Wait, and Yampy? Yampy, you're gonna just swing it
No
on you.
way, man!
Zeke! He's just pulled off the maddest 1v3.
Are you kidding me?
Out of the chairs, look at them. Look at them.
Oh my word.
Match
Yampy's done
point.
fantastic to be 45 minutes behind that execution on the B site, still find a kill, and somehow Zeke absolutely destroys the two Liquid players on site.
Madness. And they looked so ready
That was
to
a
be
given.
over.
That was a
They-
given that round. Like the previous.
Quite like that, actually. It looked a little sloppy from Liquid there in that post plant at the end. I think they thought they got that one sewn up, and well, bit of a stark reminder and a quick one of that. At 13-12, Liquid punished. And CNED, somewhat similar, tries to find a quick fight again. Not going to happen this time. Nevera's had his number a couple of times now. It's not just one man for Ascend at the moment. We've had a couple.
Ascend will drift back towards A site. And Link, the only member of Liquid here, at least committed to Scream, now makes his way up towards Heaven to be in position. But Link is found pretty early on here. Scream going to swing ahead of that Lear. Only good for the first, though.
Oh.
Has to dismiss away.
Nevera's got his back, though. He's just been kind of almost blinded away from this. Bone Cold dips out, gets out of dodge. A
huge that he lives there,
4v3. Yeah, staying alive, but for only so long. Scream was on the hunt, and as was Nevera. And it looks like Zeke's going to be checked on. Yes, he is. But actually, Zeke still gets away with that. I'm kind of surprised, and finally gets traded in. You're not going to get away with it a couple more times. So 13-13 now. And MBS did say, promised us all 5 maps with OTs in 3.
We defend this
Good
reality.
for him.
Good for him.
BS has always been one of my favourite people.
Switching sides. Overtime.
He knows that as well.
Yeah, he's really given us a, I don't know if it's a curse, as it goes.
Didn't need much of one, to be honest.
No, we do quite well for ourselves normally.
Stars in
Yeah,
the
we
astral
normally,
plane.
Got that in check.
yeah, we're on point. So who's having a... Oh, Soulcast.
He's having a stinker. I'll be honest. Scream was actually struggling through the
Yeah, he wasn't
the
having a great
first-
game.
No. But Soulcast, yeah, still struggling at the bottom of the scoreboard for Liquid here. Seeing much slower this time around from Liquid. Bone Cold in a... Consider it an off angle on top of the wood here. Scream and Nivera just outside B main. Liquid not overstepping the mark just yet. And here that Lear actually will force Bone Cold back here. Gonna have to smoke off. Hasn't drawn a rotation again. 2-1-2 from Ascend and Zeke actually walking mid. Oh, Link was ready for it as well.
Oh, come
I mean, Yampi's just had a wander up ramp. No resistance.
How was he undetected to that point?
I don't know, and how are they getting picks on the other side now? If you're Ascend, where do you commit to? Look at middle. Look at mid. Oh, if he caught that spike, it could have been potentially different. It's not. This is Liquid just flowing through this round, and it was really quite a strange one. Saxo does isolate Lincoln towards middle, but it's a 1v4, and this might even be out of reach.
I think he's very, very cautious
Spike
of Yampi
planted.
backstabbing once again. Liquid righting their wrongs. The plant is good for Heaven just in case this is disastrous. Starzo's got another 4 to find. Liquid already pushed up pretty deep. Nivera find his 3rd on the round. Liquid post an attacking round win.
Switching sides. Match
And again, if
point.
they're as comfortable as they were actually on the previous defensive round, could be over here. And again, Liquid fought pretty hard to come back into this one for through regulation rounds at least. One more to find. Send here again, spread pretty thin. I'm gonna leave Keylez as expected just outside A main. But Liquid, I feel a reading into this now with the way you see them set up here on the minimap. The focus is mid, the focus is B.
And look how quickly they've done this, addressing these issues, making sure in the right place for it. Again, we've seen time and time again, CNED almost brazen with his approaches, and it's the right thing to be doing. Nivera actually has had his number a couple of times in these early kind of exchanges. Now pushed back a little more, having to respect the utility invested, but no over rotations just yet, but it is that heavier lean towards that B site. So again, Nivera does need to stay alive here. That could be a gateway to really open things up, and he's down, he's out. Zeke cracks open a huge amount of the map here. We know that. Obviously Ascend don't, but they're going to start exploring.
And actually drawn Soulcast over here. It's leaving Screaming Yampi to hold on. And actually, Starzo will be punished trying to wall off stairs there. So the hit's got to come through now. They have to make use of the numbers while they can, but Yampi's found Bone Cold.
Yeah, this is starting to look worrying. Soulcast is having a nightmare. It's just nothing's working, but it's all going right for Scream, who stands up tall when needed. Liquid get across the finish line, at least in map 1.